a man can get.
Welcome in to First Things First. I'm Sarah Kustok filling in for Jenna Wolf. That's the Hall of Famer, Chris Carter. This is Nick Wright. Good show.
Good to see you, Sarah. Thank you for stepping in today.
Musical chairs.
Right. Sarah was here the last couple days, and now she's right there.
Yeah, no problem. She just dropped an assist from a different spot. I'll take her. I'm going to fill it up today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Good to know.
Good stuff on the way. There's a new favorite to land Kawhi Leonard next season. There is new hope that KD could be back in the finals. But we're going to start with the Lakers. A destructive article came out yesterday describing their dysfunction in detail. Among the accusations, Magic Johnson was described as a bully. GM Rob Pelinka doesn't always seem to tell the truth. LeBron's agent, Rich Paul, was described as a culture killer, advocating for Luke Walton to be gone as early as November of last season. Nick, who is to blame for the Lakers mess?
To me, this is relatively simple. There's a lot of blame to go around, but it should land primarily at the feet of one person, and it's one person who was not mentioned there, and that's Jeanie Buss. A very wise man named Chris Carter once told me years ago, with new information, I can develop new opinions.
Yeah.
And maybe at one point, Jeanie Buss thought a Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka with the Ramby operating in the shadows power structure was a good one. But the fact that she has gotten, and we have gotten, such overwhelming volumes of information that what's going on at Staples and with the Los Angeles Lakers is unlike anything else in the National Basketball Association. Do keep in mind, they are the only truly family-owned team left in the NBA, that to not adjust accordingly, it's one thing to say, well, the Warriors built a juggernaut with a former agent, Bob Myers, being the head of things. Why can't we build and Jerry West, by the way, kind of being a consigliere?
Yeah.
Why don't we mimic that model?
All these leagues are copycat leagues. If you get something that's successful, people try to duplicate it.
Why can't Magic be our Jerry and Pelinka be our Bob Myers? But to now have all this information and to not only not adjust, but the other option, if you're not going to adjust, is double down. Go hold a press conference, at the very least release a statement, and you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. I get it, where you would either have to fire Pelinka or disavow Magic, but you got to do one of the two. You can't be still having Magic call you his sister, you publicly going out to dinner with him publicly recruiting on your team's behalf, while he napalms Rob Pelinka, while you still seemingly stand by Rob Pelinka. So to me, that was my biggest takeaway from this article. Was it wasn't a lot of new information aside from Pelinka making up the Heath Ledger Kobe story, which was bizarre. It was that the Lakers, the buck has to stop with someone. It used to stop with Dr. Buss. It was very clear that was the power structure. Now it seems to stop with Jeanie and her brain trust, and they do appear to be in over their head.
I would go to the ownership for blame, and I believe that Magic has to take some blame, because if Magic tells Jeanie Buss that he's going to walk away, and they come up with some type of exit strategy, a solution, they can have a statement, release a statement, have a press conference, and also, as far as moving forward, what we're going to say and what we're not going to say. This is not the first time someone's left a company or a breakup and everything, but typically you get some type of agreement in writing, what I'm not going to reveal as far as me leaving the building. So if Magic, being the most famous Laker of all time, if he was smart, and I know Magic didn't plan to walk away and be doing all these TV gigs that require you to make a statement about the Lakers, because all these things keep coming out. So Magic being the public figure, they didn't have a strategy after that. So it's out of control. So Magic still thinks he's a huge part of the organization. But in the meantime, in trying to explain these things, he makes Pelinka look bad, who happens to be the highest ranking basketball person there. It's just hard to get respect in the industry. I know that people that are watching this, potential free agents, forget about just the business of the Lakers. This is their most important summer after LeBron James. They freed up all that cap space. It should easily be able to land someone. And now they're hoping to be able to land one of the free agents.
You talk about the power and the power of Rob Pelinka. Does any of this, in it coming to light, change the way in which, whether it's Jeanie Buss, whether it's the Lakers organization as a whole, approach how they move forward?
Well, I think it's too late now. I think the problem is we're damn near to June. The NBA Finals start tomorrow. The draft is June 20th. June 20th is the draft. The Finals end on June 16th. The draft is June 20th. Free agency opens June 30th at 6 p.m. They had not a plan, but they had an alternative route when Magic walked away. And they didn't have to fire Rob that day. What they do in that moment, and this isn't a novel concept, is conduct a search for the opening, which was team president, bring someone in and let that person evaluate everyone there. Let that person evaluate Rob Pelinka. Let that person give a plan for the team moving forward. But now, I think you are just stuck. I think their plan moving forward is hope and pray the gravity of LeBron attracts a free agent. And then hope and pray that either the New Orleans Pelicans don't get the deals they think they can get for Anthony Davis, or the Washington Wizards don't get the deals they think they can get for Bradley Beal, and have this offseason be successful despite your own best efforts seemingly to undercut.
And I do believe there's some things as far as the report that were wrong or inaccurate. As far as Rich Paul and him being a culture killer, number one, for your culture to be killed, you have to have a culture. Okay, so they didn't have a culture. They were trying. They were close at Christmas. They were getting something going on, so they didn't really have a true culture. In the last 6 years, no one's lost more games than them. They're tied with the New York Knicks. That's how bad they've been. So some of these things, yes, accurate. Some of these things blown out of proportion. Rich Paul riding on the team plane. He's here in Brooklyn. Magic consented for him. That's not the first agent to ever ride on a team plane. Now, because he represents Anthony Davis, there you might have a conflict of interest because how the Anthony Davis thing got out of control. But I'm still worried about the Lakers landing a big-time free agent.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Rich Paul. There's two things I feel like the audience should know that maybe wasn't very obvious upon first reading, or maybe a lot of people didn't read it. They just heard people talking about it. In my mind, a lot of this story comes from disgruntled members of Luke Walton's coaching staff that are no longer with the Lakers. Because the one person who escapes any criticism in this story is Luke. And I mean, Luke obviously we can argue about the job he did with the Lakers. He's facing some very serious off-court allegations. He fell into a great job or a great opportunity in Sacramento with a young team. And for no one, even anonymously, to kill Luke Walton in this story when everyone else is getting killed gives me an idea of where some of these anonymous sources are coming from. But the other anonymous sources, the other league executives, the other agents, you have to keep in mind, people didn't like Pelinka. Agents don't typically like each other. People are threatened by Rich. So there's two groups of people that really dislike Rich Paul. This isn't a defense of him. This is just reality. One is agents. It is written in the story. Other agents are afraid to have their clients sign with the Lakers because they think Rich might poach them. Because Clutch Sports has built itself into something very powerful, and those agents have some jealousy. They feel Rich skipped the line. Rich didn't have to do a lot of the grunt work these guys did to build up their clientele. He walked in with LeBron James. But the other one is league executives resent what LeBron and Rich have created in the era of player empowerment. So if there's resentment towards the Lakers for Lakers exceptionalism for all the titles prior to these past 6 years, LeBron being there, Rich being there, Pelinka being there, which is to circle back why it was important for someone to try to, put a dam up and stop all of these negative stories by saying this is what we're going to do in Los Angeles, because otherwise people are going to feast on the bones. Nobody will be happier than the rest of the league watching the Lakers piece by piece be ripped away. I think a lot of that were some of the genesis of this story.
All right, we got a lot more Lakers coming up in the show, but first, can Kawhi single-handedly take down the Warriors? That's next on First Things First, and you can always check us out on the Fox Sports channel on Sirius XM. We'll be right back.